So PJ Tucker is out of Houston, and the real reason because of it is because I guess he was healthy, but when they played Sacramento tonight, which you guys will be seeing this video tomorrow, they just didn't play him, and he was very frustrated that he has not been traded to a contender. So the Rockets will be sitting him out until they can do so. But so far, the rumor teams the Rockets have spoken to is the Milwaukee Bucks, Miami Heat, Los Angeles Lakers, and Brooklyn Nets. And just to say this first, PJ Tucker can be a good fit for any team, a guy who can play the big man if you want him to, but he can space the floor clearly. He is getting up there in age, and the real problem with him is he wants a big contract. And is that going to happen? Most likely not. But again, PJ Tucker, he can be a productive player. And just to make this clear from the beginning, I kind of do want PJ Tucker, and I'm not going to say I know how he's going to be traded, or to be more specific, if he's going to be traded or bought out. If he's bought out, I don't think that really makes much sense, but whatever. And the Rockets want young players or young pieces and picks for PJ. That might be asking for a little bit too much, but whatever. And let me just talk about my Bucks real quick. If we were to trade for him, I don't know what we would give up. That's why I think this is more unlikely. Our pick situation isn't the best, and especially, would you want to give up young pieces for PJ Tucker, who can really just leave at the end of the season? He is on the last year of his deal, and again, this is why I don't think it's really likely, but the Rockets have spoken to him. And if I just had to think of a trade, I don't know. From the top of my head, I didn't actually think of it before I started recording. But again, I don't think this is likely, but it is kind of interesting to think about. PJ Tucker's fit on this team. He would run more of the 4, in my opinion. I don't think we're gonna be the Rockets and try him out at the 5. But if we do, okay, whatever. But the 5, specifically the backup 5 position, is something we need to aim for. And if we want to put PJ at that position to space the floor and play some defense, sure, I guess. But that's that. Keep in mind with PJ's $8 million contract, it will be easy to match up with young players' contracts. But do you want to give up a young player for PJ Tucker who could just leave your team after this season? Probably not, but whatever. The next team I just want to talk about real quick is the Miami Heat. With Miami, I feel like a trade for Houston, it might just have to be picks, because I'm not sure if you are going to want to give up real players' assets for PJ, and this is just with the Miami Heat, I feel like. By the way, I'm just giving my opinion on the teams that Houston has talked to, just to make that clear. But the next one up is Lakers. I don't think the Lakers is going to happen. If it does, okay. But what are the Lakers going to trade? I don't think they're giving up any picks. If I had to think of a player, maybe THT? Maybe? I don't know. Because I can't imagine PJ Tucker would like to stay in Los Angeles. But again, it's just like, what are they giving up? Because Houston is going to ask for a decent amount for PJ Tucker. And he can be valuable for a team, but the amount of value the Rockets are actually expecting, I think that might be a problem. And the last team the Rockets have talked to at the moment is the Brooklyn Nets. There's going to be there won't be any picks involved. There won't be. If you could think of a player, would they trade Spencer? No, they won't. Looking at the roster, would they like Nicholas Claxton? He's young. Basically what I'm trying to say with the Nets is, if they're expecting picks back, it's not happening. It's just not. They gave all of it to Houston already. So if you want more picks, that's going to be a problem. And Yeah, Brooklyn is highly unlikely in my opinion, but if something else happens, whatever. But just to think about teams that could use PJ, the first one to come to mind is the Sixers. He could play more of a 4 role for them, and they do have picks. They do have young pieces and salaries to match up, but thinking of a PJ Tucker trade is hard because if you want to give up a lot for a 35-year-old who can just leave your team after this season, that is really risky. Because if I had to think of a trade to just off of just looking at this roster, Tyrese Maxey, I don't think he's being included in this trade. If they were to make a trade, Isaiah Joe maybe, but you're gonna have to include some more stuff in that. Yeah, it's just hard to think of the value for PJ Tucker because he can be valuable for a championship team, which he does want to play for. He does want a ring. He has made it clear he wants to be traded to a contender. It's hard to think of a trade for him. But if my Bucks were to trade for him, I would be happy. Basically, anybody will be happy having PJ Tucker on their team. But what you just have to keep in mind is he is going to ask for a lot of money in the offseason. He can't just leave your team if he doesn't want to be there. If you guys underperform, he can't just leave to a team he wants to go to. And PJ Tucker is also going to ask for a lot of money. So if you are expecting to re-sign him in the offseason, you have to keep that in mind. And his asking price, I don't know, but it's definitely going to be higher than you should probably be playing a 35-year-old. He's not LeBron. And yeah, that's pretty much it. But again, PJ Tucker is going to be traded to a contender. Anybody would love to have him on his team. And if the Rockets just wanted to say, you know what, screw him, they could trade him to the Hawks. Who cares? He does, clearly. But again, this is going to be a very interesting situation to keep an eye on because he would definitely be traded at the March 25th trade deadline. And it's going to be interesting to see what trade goes down and what does the other team give up for him. I am expecting it to be a decent amount, but I really don't think it should. That's just my opinion. But don't forget to leave a comment. What do you guys think about this topic? Where do you think he's going? Just let me know in the comments. But I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.